All right. Welcome back into the podcast. And let's get going talking about some of these NFC championship slash AFC championship games. Really some insane games. Uh I want to start out with the NFC. And this was just very disappointing because me being a huge Lions fan, as you can see, new JJ McCarthy jersey in the background. I'm a Michigander, us having the Lions in the NFC championship meant everything. Absolutely everything. I had Aaron on a couple weeks ago now, and we talked about it like this was the matchup, right? And we talked about how we thought the Lions actually matched up pretty well, and we talked about things of that nature and how it would be a close game. And boy, this was an awesome game. Awesome, awesome game. But it did not go the Lions' way at all. The 49ers were down 17 at halftime, 24-7, and then just clawed their way back with an unbelievable third quarter, able to win the game 34-31, and really just disappointing as a Lions fan. It's just sad because you put yourself in such a good situation. Unbelievable season. I mean, I don't think anybody expected an NFC Championship berth. Really, um, better third quarter away from making the Super Bowl, better second half away from making the Super Bowl, and just really disappointing. That's kind of the best way to say it because the Lions controlled this game throughout. I mean, had an unbelievable game. They started out with an unbelievable first drive with the Jamison Williams 42-yard run for a touchdown. And I think that got the whole city of Detroit going. Everybody was going. Really an unbelievable start. And then they get a stop on 49ers, the missed field goal from Jake Moody. They went down, but just couldn't hit that field goal. And then right away, they go right back down, an unbelievable drive. And David Montgomery gets a touchdown. So just like that, you're up 14-0. And I think everybody was shocked, from what I've listened to today. I'm recording this Monday afternoon. I listened to really like my main podcast for Zillow, Bill Simmons, all that. Everybody expected the 49ers just kind of run over them, which makes complete sense. Aaron and I talked about it, and numbers-wise, like everything pointed towards picking the 49ers. It's just the truth. Better defense, almost better off. Like just the weapons there is just sensational, along with the O-line, people like Trent Williams, all that. But the Lions just punched him in the mouth, and they were the more aggressive team to start the game. That second drive, they went 11 plays, 62 yards, just went right through them. Jahmyr Gibbs, who is so fast, the way he's running. Like, I love his running style. He was just unbelievable to start the game. Jared Goff was throwing in complete command. They had a big 3rd and 9 to Amon-Ra. It seemed like every third down the Lions were getting during this drive, and they went right down. David Montgomery scored the touchdown, giving you a 14-0 lead. And as Lions fans, we're going crazy, absolutely crazy. And the 49ers bounced back, solid 8-play, 75-yard drive, bouncing back, getting that going. They were using Juszczyk a lot, and Juszczyk actually had a solid game, blocking and things of that nature. Christian McCaffrey was able to score a touchdown. Then the Lions punted, and then Brock Purdy, in the first half, Brock Purdy just didn't look good at all. Some of his throws were really wobbly. It seemed like the Lions' D-line was giving him problems, making it difficult for him to get comfortable, and he just didn't look comfortable. He threw that really bad ball that was intercepted by Rodrigo, which was unbelievable, and then the Lions capitalized. Went down, scored a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs with a great 15-yard run for a touchdown, and just like that, the Lions are up 21-7, and I think it shocked the whole United States. Like, it was crazy, and everybody was going through the Lions. You could just see the momentum building, and then the Lions force a punt, and just like that, they kick a field goal to end the half, which I actually thought was the right call. It was a 17-play drive, really just a grinded out drive. Another one. It sucks to settle for 3 there, but you want points there. And then the second half started, and boy, oh boy, that was tough, man. The 49ers went down to start, 9-play, 50-yard drive, and the Lions got a big stop. It was a big 3rd and 8. Brock Purdy tried to fit it into Juwan Jennings, just couldn't. And then Jake Moody hit a 43-yard field goal. So, the Lions still got a lot of momentum. They're up 24-10, 14-point game. And, they go down the field. very solid drive, and then you got a big call, 4th and 2. And in these situations, everybody knows that Dan Campbell is like all in to go for it. And, like a lot of people were like, well, why didn't he do that, in the first half? In the first half, I thought it could make complete sense, make it a 3-possession game. This is the same situation, 3-possession game, blah, blah, blah. But they decided to go for it, no dice. And in my opinion, it's like, okay, it's fourth down. You do it one way here. Why not just stay consistent? Why not kick another field goal, make it a 3-possession game? The 49ers offense at this moment isn't scoring on you. You're playing great defense. Why not just trust your defense? Not trust your defense a little bit. I've been talking about it all season. I hated our pass defense. I thought that was going to be the death of us. And guess what? It was the death of us, because after going for it, we didn't get it, and momentum completely shifted the other way. Brock Purdy had some unbelievable plays. They had a quick little pass to Debo for 17 yards, and then on 1st and 10, they go deep to Brandon Ayuk for a 51-yard gain, hits Vildor in the helmet. Ayuk catches it. The momentum's already shifted because they had a great play to Debo. If Vildor or Ayuk just dropped the ball, like, the momentum's still all theirs. And even if Vildor picks it, it's pretty much a punt. Like, it doesn't really matter. So, Ayuk catches it, big play, and then they get it to McCaffrey. And, actually, this was Ayuk's touchdown on the 3rd and goal. And Purdy hit Ayuk for a big touchdown there that made it 24-17. And then just like that, right afterwards, Jahmyr Gibbs fumbles, recovered by the 49ers. 49ers go down, score a touchdown. This one was McCaffrey. And just like that, 24-24. And really just an unbelievable series of events. And as Lions fans, we're just sitting there with our hands on our face like, this is a Lions collapse. It just is. And it's tough because I really think it's not the worst decision to go for it, because Dan Campbell had been doing it all season. And, I just kind of wish, he'd stay consistent through it. He had one of these games where he said he regretted not going for it on one play and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he regretted not going for it on the first one as well in the first half. Just kicking a field goal, it made it 24-7, which is fine, but I'm sure he would have rather stayed consistent, and I'm sure everybody would have rather had him stay consistent. But, after that, the Lions are forced to punt, and then the 49ers go on another great 11-play drive. The 49ers in the second half, and I thought Todd McShay did a really good job explaining it on Russillo's podcast. He said, they went right to Debo. And the difference in this 49ers second half adjustments compared to the NFC semifinals against the Packers was the fact that they had Debo in this game. And when Shanahan has someone like that, he has so many plays drawn up for him, and they immediately started giving the ball to Debo, which is very impressive here. And looking at their first drive, immediately pass short left to Debo for 17 yards, then the big play to Ayuk. And then Ayuk scores the touchdown. And then the next drive, it's Debo on some screens. And Debo was just great for them. It's getting it to those playmakers. And McCaffrey's able to get the touchdown as well. Having Debo there just makes it so difficult for the Lions. And it makes you forget about Ayuk as well. Those are two unbelievable receiving weapons. And they were able to really use them in a great way. After the 49ers field goal, the Lions got the ball back and had a solid drive. We're driving down the field. You're left with another 4th and 3 and just can't fit it in there to Amon-Ra. Jared Goff had to make a really tough ball thrown to Amon-Ra and incomplete there. And then San Francisco scores a touchdown, makes it 34-24 with another 7-play, 70-yard drive. They were using McCaffrey. McCaffrey was running all over them. And, it was tough. It was just really tough to watch. Brock Purdy was running all over the place, making some incredible plays with his legs, and just watching the Lions D-line not be able to finish plays, and watching that Lions secondary just struggle to guard receivers time and time again. I was saying it was my biggest fear, and just everything came to light in that second half, which was really killer. It made it 34-24. The game's pretty much over at this point, but Jared Goff is taking them down the field to trying to keep the Lions in the game. And this is where the mismanagement kind of happened. They had to use the timeout because they decided to run on 3rd and goal. And you can't use the timeout in that situation because nobody gets onside kicks anymore. Just nobody. And to be honest, I didn't really see it before, but it's true. Like, you get an onside kick 4% of the time. So, using a timeout in that situation is just inexcusable. And especially with the Lions' run defense, like, I was like, okay, why not, like, just hurry back to the line, try to score on or kick a field goal on 4th and goal or score on 3rd and goal, have all 3 of your timeouts. You have pretty much the best rush defense in football. That is your strength. So why not just dive into it? Okay, you got one strength on defense. Why not just dive into it and trust it? Because I feel like with 3 timeouts, you probably could bottle them up because McCaffrey wasn't great throughout the whole game. It wasn't a great McCaffrey game. McCaffrey was able to score. He's always able to score. But the fact is he was under 5 yards a carry. He ended up with 20 carries, 90 yards, which is a good game. But the fact of the matter is he had multiple 20-yard runs. There were plenty of times that the Lions were able to shut him down for like 2-yard gains. It wasn't methodical 4-yard, 5-yard gains. I feel like it just would have been smart for the Lions to kick a field goal or score, whatever. I mean, everybody would rather have a score, but if you kick the field goal, you have all 3 timeouts, rely on your defense to get you the ball back with like 20 seconds left, and then there's a shot. There's a shot and anything can happen. So I thought that was a little bit of a mismanagement, but overall, to me, the 49ers were the better team. It's just the truth. They have so much capabilities to, spread the ball around with Debo, Kittle. Kittle was a non-factor throughout this game, but he is just such a fantastic blocker, and it always shows. It's just incredible to watch him. And then Ayuk was great in this game. I mean, those Lions corners aren't great, and Vildor and Sutton, but he really made them look not great. So, really a tough game for Lions standards because Ben Johnson probably gone. He's kind of the main target for the Commanders. So we'll see what happens there. Mike McDonald just interviewed there as well, the defense coordinator for the Ravens, which we'll get into Ravens Chiefs in a second. But it's going to be tough to bring all these guys back for the Lions. So we'll see what everything happens. I think the offense will remain as good because Dan Campbell is an unbelievable offensive mind. Don't get that wrong. I mean, his 4th down calls and blah, 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 all that stuff can be critiqued all you want, the game management, blah, 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 but he is a great offensive mind. I mean, Ben Johnson is from his tree. It's the first young offensive coordinator that we've seen that's not from the Shanahan tree. It's from Dan Campbell's tree. So, Dan Campbell is really smart, and I think he'll be able to continue to have this offense clicking at that level. The Lions just need to get some defensive linemen and some corners, man. Like, the secondary was a problem all year. Being 27th in anything is just killer. It's a big weakness. And if you're a Super Bowl team, you can't have that. But as a Lions fan, I am so happy with this season. Making the NFC Championship is an incredible feat. And yes, it sucks the way we lost, but I thought it was an unbelievable year. And I'm really excited for the future because it's a really young team, and we're only going to develop. We're only going to get better. So I credit to the Lions, credit to Dan Campbell, credit to an unbelievable year. And it stinks that we lost that game, but an unbelievable year for the Lions. And then 49ers, you did what you needed to do. Kyle Shanahan, you got to the Super Bowl again. You got the Chiefs, which we'll talk about in a second. But now it's up to you guys. You guys got to close the deal. I picked them to win it. I'm not sure if I like that pick anymore, but, we'll see. We'll see for sure. All right, moving on to AFC Championship game. Kansas City, Baltimore. And this one was really, really fun to watch. I mean, the score doesn't show it, 17-10, Kansas City winning the game. But this was so much fun to watch because it was like a chess match throughout the whole game. John Harbaugh, Andy Reid, really just putting these chess pieces out in the right spots, and it was just really, really cool to watch. watching this game, like going into the game, everybody's talking about that Ravens defense. How is Patrick Mahomes going to respond to this defense? This defense is incredible. And how is this Chiefs defense going to stop Lamar? Because Lamar's been so difficult to contain throughout the whole year. First possession of the game, we saw the Chiefs defense punch them in the mouth. Another game, just like the Lions at the beginning of the game, just punching the other team in the mouth. The Ravens trying to get their run game going. They give the Hill 1 yard gain. Then Lamar scrambles to the right, tries to find something. He can only get 2 yards because the Chiefs defense is all over him. They got spies all over the place, and their secondary is so good, so good. And then it forces Lamar to a tough 3rd and 7. He tries to get it short to Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar drops it, which we've seen for a long time. And that leads to a punt. And this leads to the 2 drives that won the Chiefs the game. It's just the truth. This 20-play script, and Todd McShay said this, like the 20-play script that the Chiefs came up with for this game to start the game, won them the game. And that just shows you how great of a coach Andy Reid is. And it was just incredible. Like they started out with some screens. They got a screen to Kelsey. They tried to get it to Pacheco right away. And then they got it to Rashee Rice right away as well, just getting your playmakers involved. And then they went 5 straight run plays, run play, getting them down the field. It leads to a really tough 4th and 2. And I love that they went for it here because the Chiefs have already gotten some momentum. They had 3 first downs. So it's like, okay, you're moving the ball. Why not go for it on this 4th and 2? You have Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes makes an incredible play to Kelsey. Just a ridiculous throw. Kelsey makes the catch, first down. And just like that, like the Chiefs just kept going. They kept going all the way down the field and scored a touchdown. Mahomes passed to Kelsey, and Kelsey was ridiculous in this game. I'm just going to give you the full stat line because Kelsey had an incredible drive here, and it was ridiculous. He had 9 catches in the first half. He ended up with 11 catches, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. That is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, Chiefs score here, and then the Ravens get the ball back. I'm trying to pull up the play-by-play, so I got it with me, and I can give you guys the full rundown. But the Ravens came back and, kind of silenced them. Lamar looked really good, was getting the ball down the field, and then he had the incredible ball to Zay Flowers for a 30-yard touchdown. And you're like, okay, these teams could go back and forth all game. It's 7-7 here. And then Kansas City, right back at you. An unbelievable drive. This was a 16-play drive for 75 yards and a touchdown. And this was just passing it short. Mahomes was getting a lot of passes short. He started out the game 11 for 11. It was the best start completion-wise that he's had in his career, which is really impressive. And it's so much fun to watch the Chiefs offense when they're clicking like that. Like, it was incredible to watch. He was just clicking all over the place, and then Pacheco finishes the drive with a 2-yard touchdown. And then right when you think the Ravens offense is going to have momentum, they're feeling good, they get another first down. They had a 3rd and 1 conversion where Jordan Hill ran through the tackles. And then they got a 1st and 10. And out of nowhere, an unbelievable play by Mahali, I think. That's definitely not the way you say it, but whatever. He's a really good DN for the Chiefs that actually got hurt on this play. He just a perfectly timed sack that Lamar just from the blind side didn't expect it, fumbled it, Chiefs recover. I talked about it earlier on the podcast this year. Lamar's had a fumbling problem. That's the one thing that I've knocked him on a little bit. And he fumbled here, gives the Chiefs a short field, and it didn't matter because the Chiefs tried to go for it on 4th and 1. They tried to give it to Pacheco and couldn't because that Ravens defense was just really incredible. And then that led to back and forth defensive play. The Chiefs defense really locked up that Ravens offense. They made it so difficult on Lamar. They gave him so many different looks. And the thing about it that was fun is, like, especially those first 2 drives, you saw Mahomes making so many adjustments based off blitzes that he saw. Like, he would put extra linemen. He'd be like, hey, you block this blitzer. He's coming off this gap. And he really did a great job of that. And then the Ravens adjusted and used some exotic blitzes that Mahomes couldn't see, and it made it difficult for Mahomes. So it led to punts, and the Chiefs got a field goal before the end of the half. 17-7 going into halftime. And just like that, it just kept going back and forth. It was punts, punts, punts. And the Chiefs defense was really just making it so hard on Lamar. Sometimes they'd leave two spies. Other times they were just so good in coverage that it made it difficult. Trent McDuffie, unbelievable. He is just so great. And then, finally the Ravens started getting going on a drive. They had a 6-play, 63-yard drive. Lamar was getting it down the field. This was to start the fourth quarter, and Lamar passes it short to Zay Flowers, who was getting going as well. Zay Flowers tries to make a play, and then Snead with an unbelievable tackle forces the ball out and gives the Chiefs a touchback, which was really the play of the game. It saved it. It saved it for them. And the Chiefs then drive a little bit, then they're forced to punt because the Ravens defense, Kyle Hamilton was unbelievable throughout this game. He's become one of my favorite players. Like, he was awesome in that game, really just all over the place. And it's actually fun to root for. A lot of people talk about that Ravens defense with Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, but Kyle Hamilton deserves some credit, and Marlon Humphrey, I love those two as well. And then the Ravens go down, another big drive. They're trying to respond, and then Lamar just forces it. He forces it to, I believe it was Flowers in the end zone, and a great pick by Bush, who came in for an injured linebacker for the Chiefs, and that kind of sealed the game. The Ravens got a field goal late, but then the Chiefs were able to run the clock out. And really an incredible win for the Chiefs, 17-10. Nobody expected them to be there. I mean, I talked about it with Aaron. This is for Mahomes a year where he is not supposed to win the Super Bowl. And right now, I think a lot of people are just picking the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to win too. I really do, because Mahomes is playing a lot better. Their offense is playing a lot better. They're making catches. It doesn't matter that they scored 17 points. They were moving the ball up and down. Like, they were doing things to that defense. And I really think that the Chiefs are going to show up against the 49ers and be ready for that game. But with Andy Reid, with Travis Kelce, with Rashee Rice, with Patrick Mahomes, you can't bet against them. They're just unbelievable. They always are ready for the next step. And really just an incredible win. This is the year they're not supposed to win. And I really think they're going to end up winning, which is unbelievable to say. That's why I didn't pick them this year. I picked them last year because we saw it. Like, I knew that this team was going to be there. They had the old line. They had the defense. This year they had the defense, but they didn't have the offense. I talked about it all year. And that's why I did pick them when I originally picked the Niners-Chiefs matchup, which I have up there. Yeah, I'm pointing at the right spot if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, I have Chiefs and 49ers flags up there behind me. But, talking about this, I really think the Chiefs just shocked the world. They really did. Winning that AFC is such a difficult conference to win, and they were able to do it in a really incredible fashion. They went through the Bills, they went through the Ravens, and here we are. They're back in the Super Bowl, which is just crazy to say. And then talking about it from the Ravens' perspective, it's tough. It's really tough because you don't know if they'll be back here next year. Burrow will be back. Burrow and those Bengals will be back and healthy, and they're tough. They're so tough. I mean, if I had to re-rank my quarterback list, and I was talking to my buddy Drew Comer just about it off air, and I was like, I'd go Mahomes, I'd go Josh Allen right now, and then Burrow's still 3, and Lamar's 4. And Lamar deserves all the credit in the world. Unbelievable season, MVP. Makes the AFC Championship game. He proved a lot of stuff by making that AFC Championship game. But he didn't show up. He just didn't. The Chiefs threw so many different stuff at him, and you could tell he just got frustrated. The reason why I can't put him ahead of Burrow or Allen or Mahomes is because those guys don't get rattled. They adjust, they make plays. And Lamar's not there yet. He's just not. And I think he definitely could get there. But he hasn't gotten there yet. He hasn't gotten to that step. He felt a little rattled, and yes, you could say, oh, he doesn't have enough on offense. Yeah, he got Mark Andrews back in that game. He has Isaiah Likely, who's a fantastic tight end. He had Zay Flowers. Odell Beckham Jr. is still pretty good. And their O line's good. Ronnie Stanley is a really good left tackle. But that Chiefs defense is awesome. It is. It's flat out awesome, and they made it really difficult for Lamar. I just think his pocket awareness has got to get a little bit better for him to be there. And it was pretty clear that Mahomes is just the best quarterback we've seen in a long time, and it just felt like that the Ravens were just a little bit overmatched in that aspect. That the Chiefs had the best player, and to me, the Ravens were a better team, but the Chiefs were able to sneak it out because they had the best player. They were more experienced than the Ravens, which that experience killed the Ravens because the Ravens had plenty of penalties. They Flowers, and they had a couple late hits with Van Noy had a late hit. Um, all that. It made it difficult for the Ravens for sure. And disappointing it is because the AFC is only getting better. It really is. The Chargers might be better next year with Jim Harbaugh going over there, which I haven't talked about on this podcast. I will have a podcast on that coming out soon. But it's just tough. This was your best year probably to make the Super Bowl, and very disappointing if I'm a Ravens fan for sure.